There's a church outside Missouri, standing warm against the wind, where the stained glass catches sunsets like fire burning through old sins. I drove there with a restless spirit and regret beneath my skin, trying hard to outrun memories and the places I had been. Every mile behind me echoed with mistakes I couldn't hide, and every storm I barely survived still thundered deep inside. And I heard an old hymn rising through the cold October rain, and something in that sacred sound started breaking all my chains. Then the bells rang through the valley as the evening sky turned gold, and something through the silence finally touched my soul. This is where the broken find grace, where the weary hearts belong, where mercy walks through shattered lives and turns weakness into song. I was drowning in the darkness with no strength left in my soul, but heaven met me in that old church and finally made me whole. Now every scar reminds me God still heals the pain, 'cause this is where the broken find grace. Inside half shaken, with trembling in my hands, carrying all the years I wasted, trying hard to understand. The preacher spoke of forgiveness for the weary and ashamed, and every word hit softly like sunlight after rain. The choir rose like thunder through the old cathedral beams, and for the first time in forever I felt my spirit breathe. I fell down there beside the altar with tears upon my face, and heaven wrapped this broken heart inside amazing grace. All the fear I carried for years started fading with the storm, like heaven pulled me gently back where I belong. This is where the broken find grace, where wounded souls can heal, where grace walks through the silence and reminds us what is real. I was buried in the loneliness, trying hard to numb the ache, but mercy kept pursuing me till my spirit finally woke. Now revival burns within me like dawn beyond the rain, since heaven led me gently where the broken find grace. Maybe God still fills the churches with the songs we need to hear. Maybe grace still sounds like freedom to the weary standing near. Maybe broken roads and heartache were never there in vain. Maybe heaven builds redemption inside our deepest pain. And maybe every mile I wandered, every scar and every fall was leading me toward mercy that had been there through it all. This is where the broken find grace. Now redemption fills my veins. Every wound became a witness to the mercy in His name. Now the road ahead feels brighter, like sunrise through the storm, and heaven turned this shattered life into something reborn. I still hear those old hymns singing every time I pray, since heaven showed me mercy, where the broken find grace. Oh, the broken find grace. The dawn rolled through Missouri as the sunlight touched the fields, and somewhere through the silence my weary soul was healed. There's a river down in Alabama where the rain falls cold at night, and the muddy water keeps moving beneath the pale moonlight. I drove there with a broken spirit and regret beneath my skin, trying hard to outrun memories and the places I had been. Every road behind me echoed with mistakes I couldn't hide, and every storm I barely survived still thundered deep inside. And I saw revival gathering by the river in the rain, and something through those distant voices started breaking all my chains. Then the preacher raised his hand as thunder rolled above, and something through the storm light felt a whole lot like love. I was baptized by rain and grace, by mercy falling from the sky, where heaven washed this broken soul and taught my heart to rise. I was drowning in the darkness with no strength left in my soul, but heaven met me in that river and finally made me whole. Now every scar reminds me God still heals the pain, since I was baptized forever by rain and grace. While the lightning split the dark, and every voice about redemption lit a fire inside my heart. I walked down into the water with trembling in my hands, carrying all the years I wasted trying hard to understand. Then the preacher spoke forgiveness for the the thunder and the rain. I came up from rivers with the hope we need to find. Maybe grace still sounds like thunder to the lost and left behind. Maybe broken roads and heartache were never there in vain. Maybe heaven builds redemption inside our deepest pain. And maybe every mile I wander, every scar and every fall was leading me toward mercy that had been there through it all. I was baptized by rain and grace. Now redemption fills my veins. Everyone became a witness to the mercy in His name. Now the road ahead feels brighter, like dawn beyond the storm. And heaven turned this shattered life into something reborn. I still hear that river calling every time I pray, since heaven washed my soul alive with rain and grace that day. The dawn rolled through Alabama as the storm clouds drifted west. And somewhere through the silence, my weary soul found rest. There's a front porch down in Alabama where the lantern softly blows, and the old folks gather singing as the evening breeze blows slow. Mama's rocking in her old chair with a Bible on her knees, while the sound of old-time gospel moves gently through the trees. I came home with a tighter spirit and regret beneath my skin, trying hard to outrun memories and the places I had been. But the laughter through that screen door hit my soul like summer rain. And something in that holy moment started healing me again. Then the old guitar started playing as the stars lit up the sky. Something through the music finally brought me back to life. There's a front porch hallelujah rising through the southern night, where grace still lives in simple moments and broken hearts find light. I was drowning in the darkness with no strength left in my soul, but heaven met me on that porch swing and finally made me whole. Now every scar reminds me God still hears our cries through a front porch hallelujah beneath those southern skies. And for the first time in forever, I felt my spirit heal. I raised my hands beside my family with tears upon my face, and heaven wrapped this broken heart inside Amazing Grace. All the fear I carried for years started fading with the wind, like heaven called me gently back home again. There's a front porch, hallelujah, where broken souls can heal, where grace walks through the silence and reminds us what is real. I was buried in the loneliness, trying hard to numb the ache, but mercy kept pursuing me till my spirit finally woke. Now revival burns within me like sunrise through the rain, since heaven sang redemption to that porch again. Maybe God still moves through families gathered close at night. Maybe grace still sounds like singing beneath the porch light. Maybe broken roads and heartache were never there in vain. Maybe heaven builds redemption inside our deepest pain. And maybe every mile I wandered, every scar and every fall was leading me back to mercy that had been there through it all. Oh, there's a front porch, hallelujah. Now redemption fills my veins. Every wound became a witness to the mercy in His name. Now the road ahead feels brighter, like dawn beyond the storm, and heaven turned this shattered life into something reborn. I still hear those old songs rising every time I pray, since heaven found me singing on that porch that day. On that porch that day. Hey! The dawn goes, the dawn, oh, the dawn goes, oh, the dawn goes, the dawn goes. The dawn rolled through Alabama as the stars faded away, and somewhere through the silence my weary soul found grace. There's a valley down in Tennessee where the hills roll green and wide, and the rivers move like whispers beneath the evening sky. I drove there with a restless spirit and regret beneath my skin, trying hard to outrun memories and the places I had been. Every road behind me echoed with mistakes I couldn't hide, and every storm I barely survived still thundered deep inside. Then I saw an old church glowing far beyond the mountain range, and something in that distant light started healing me again. And then the wind moved through the pines as the sunset touched the trees, and something through the silence finally brought me peace. Mercy runs washes off the shame. I was drowning in the darkness with no strength left in my soul. But heaven met me in those mountains and finally made me whole. Now every scar reminds me God still heals the lost, because mercy still is flowing through these hills beyond the cross. There's an old barn near the river where my daddy used to pray, and mama sang old gospel songs at the ending of the day. I walked back there exhausted, with trembling in my hands, carrying all the years I wasted, trying hard to understand. The preacher spoke of forgiveness for the weary and ashamed, and every word hit softly like sunshine after rain. The choir rose like freedom through the little wooden church, and for the first time in forever I felt my spirit work. All the fear I carried for years started fading with the dawn, like heaven wrapped around me and told me I belong. Mercy runs through these hills where broken hearts can heal, where grace walks through the silence and reminds us what is real. I was buried in the loneliness, trying hard to numb the ache, but mercy kept pursuing me till my spirit finally woke. Now revival burns within me like sunrise after rain, since heaven called me gently back home again. Maybe God still walks the mountains, searching for the lost. Maybe grace still shines the brightest at the foot of every cross. Maybe broken roads and heartache were never there in vain. Maybe heaven built redemption inside our deepest pain. And maybe every mile I wandered, every scar and every fall was leading me toward mercy that had been there through it all. Mercy runs through these hills, now redemption fills my veins. Every wound became a witness to the mercy in His name. Now the road ahead feels brighter, like dawn beyond the storm, and heaven turned this shattered life into something reborn. I still hear those old hymns singing every time I pray, since mercy found me waiting in those hills that day. In those hills that day. The dawn rolled through Tennessee as the sunlight touched the trees, and somewhere through the silence my weary soul found peace. There's a storm outside Oklahoma, and the sky burns black tonight. Lightning cuts across the darkness, like heaven fighting for the light. I've been driving through the thunder with regret beneath my skin, trying hard to outrun memories in the places I had been. Every road behind me echoed with mistakes I couldn't hide. And every storm I barely survived still thundered deep inside. Then I saw a church steeple glowing through the pouring midnight rain, and something in that distant light started breaking all my chains. Then the thunder rolled around me as the window shook with sound, and something through the chaos finally pulled me down. There's stormlight and salvation shining through the darkest skies, where grace walks through the thunder and breathes life back into our lives. I was drowning in the darkness with no strength left in my soul, but heaven met me in the storm winds and finally made me whole. Now every scar reminds me God still hears our cries through stormlight and salvation, burning in the night. I walked inside that old church with rain soaking through my clothes, carrying all the years I wasted and the secrets no one knows. The preacher spoke of mercy for the weary and ashamed, and every word hit harder than the lightning and the rain. The choir rose like thunder through the old cathedral beams, and for the first time in forever I felt my spirit breathe. I fell down there beside the altar with tears upon my face, and heaven wrapped this broken soul inside amazing grace. All the fear I carried for years started fading with the storm, like heaven wrapped around me and pulled me toward the Lord. There's stormlight and salvation, where broken hearts can heal, where grace walks through the chaos and reminds us what is real. I was buried in the loneliness, trying hard to numb the ache, but mercy kept pursuing me till my spirit finally woke. Now revival burns within me like sunrise after rain, since heaven found me standing inside that storm again. Maybe God still moves through thunder, searching for the lost. Maybe grace still shines the brightest at the foot of every cross. Maybe broken roads and heartache were never there in vain. Maybe heaven builds redemption inside our deepest pain. And maybe every mile I wander, every scar and every fall was leading me toward mercy that had been there through it on that day. The dawn rolled through Oklahoma as the thunder drifted west, and somewhere through the silence my weary soul found rest. There's a highway through Kentucky where the sunrise paints the fields and the morning fog keeps drifting like wounds beginning to heal. I drove there with a tired spirit and regret beneath my skin, trying hard to outrun memories and the places I had been. Every road behind me echoed with mistakes I couldn't hide, and every storm I barely survived still thunder deep inside. Now I heard church bells ringing through the pale October dawn, and something in that sacred sound told me I belong. Then the sunlight crossed the valley as the cold wind moved the trees, and something through the silence finally brought me peace. There's a sound of redemption at dawn, rising through the morning light, where grace walks through the silence and pulls weary souls from night. I was drowning in the darkness with no strength left in my soul, but heaven met me in the sunrise and finally made me whole. Now every scar reminds me God still hears our cries through the sound of redemption at dawn's first light. There's an old church near the hillside where the wooden pews still creak, and broken hearts keep gathering every Sunday through the week. I walked inside exhausted with trembling in my hands, carrying all the years I wasted, trying hard to understand. The preacher spoke of mercy for the weary and ashamed, and every word hit softly like sunlight after rain. The choir rose like heaven through the stained glass morning beams, and for the first time in forever I felt my spirit breathe. fear I carried for years started fading with the dawn, like heaven wrapped around me and told me I belong. There's a sound of redemption at dawn, where broken hearts can heal, where grace walks through the silence and reminds us what is real. I was buried in the loneliness, trying hard to numb the ache, but mercy kept pursuing me till my spirit finally woke. Now revival burns within me like sunlight after rain, since heaven sang redemption across those fields again. Maybe God still fills the mornings with the hope we need to hear. Maybe grace still sounds like freedom to the weary standing near. But maybe broken roads and heartache were never there in vain. Maybe heaven builds redemption inside our deepest pain. And maybe every mile I wandered, every scar and every fall was leading me toward mercy that had been there through it all. There's a sound of redemption at dawn. Now redemption fills my veins. Everyone became a witness to the mercy in His name. Now the road ahead feels brighter, like sunrise through the storm, and heaven turned this shattered life into something reborn. I still hear those church bells ringing every time I pray, since heaven sang redemption at dawn that day. The dawn rolled through Kentucky as the sunlight touched the plains, and somewhere through the silence my weary soul was changed.
There's a church outside Kentucky where the candles softly glow, and the choir still sings mercy like they did long ago. I drove there with a restless spirit and regret beneath my skin, trying hard to outrun memories and the places I had been. Every row behind me echoed with mistakes I couldn't hide, and every storm I barely survived still thundered deep inside. Then I heard those voices rising through the cold November rain, and something in that sacred harmony started healing me again. Then the bells rang through the valley as the night sky filled with stars, and something through the music finally touched my heart. When the choir calls you home, grace can find you anywhere, through the storms and through the sorrow, through the weight sky. Inside, half shaking, with trembling in my hands, carrying all the years I wasted, trying hard to understand. The preacher spoke of forgiveness for the weary and ashamed, and every word hit softly like sunlight after rain. The choir rose like thunder through the old cathedral beams, and for the first time in forever I felt my spirit breathe. I fell down there beside the altar with tears upon my face, and heaven wrapped this shattered heart inside amazing grace. All the fear I carried for years started fading with the dawn, like heaven wrapped around me and told me I belong. When the choir calls you home, where broken hearts can heal, where grace walks through the silence and reminds us what is real. I was buried in the loneliness, trying hard to numb the ache, but mercy kept pursuing me till my spirit finally woke. Now revival burns within me like sunrise through the rain, since heaven called me gently home. Nothing stayed the same. Maybe God still fills the churches with the songs we need to hear. Maybe grace still sounds like freedom to the weary standing near. Maybe broken roads and heartache were never there in vain. Maybe heaven built redemption inside our deepest pain. And maybe every mile I wandered, every scar and every fall was leading me toward mercy that had been there through it all. When the choir calls you home, now redemption fills my veins. Every wound became a witness to the mercy in His name. Now the road ahead feels brighter, like dawn beyond the storm. Heaven turned this shattered life into something reborn. I still hear those voices singing every time I pray, since heaven called me gently home. Through that choir that day, the dawn rolled through Kentucky as the candles slowly dimmed. Somewhere through the silence, my weary soul found Him.